Hi everyone, it's Scott here from That's English School 英語研究プロジェクトよくある間違いを分析します。この英会話スクールにずっと通っている生徒さんたちがいます。幼稚園の時から今もう社会人になってまだまだ英語頑張っています。すごいですね。でもね、あることに気づきました。小学校を卒業して中学生になってちょうどその時ある変化があります。今までにない言葉が出てきます。その言葉が interesting。 例えばですね、How was the movie? と聞いたら It was interesting と返事します。正直がっかりですね。 It was interesting というのは不自然な感じがしますね。今までは It was amazing, It was awesome, It was fun と言ってたのにね。中学校で本格的に英語を勉強し始めるとね、面白いイコール interesting という風になってしまいますね。それを覚えてなかなか他の言い方を使おうとしないですね。いくら言っても。Okay, let me talk about this in English using 4 logical steps. I hope you'll find it interesting. First, let's look at the problem. That's an interesting joke. That's an interesting joke. If I made a joke and someone said, That's interesting, I would probably not be too happy about it. If you're not careful, it can sound sarcastic and perhaps even a little condescending. Hey, I've got a joke for you. Did you hear about the Italian chef who died? He passed away. That's so interesting. He passed away. Oh, that's a good one. So, as I said in the introduction, the word interesting can be translated into the Japanese word 面白い. But there are a lot of pitfalls that you have to watch out for. A pitfall is something dangerous that you might not notice at first. Let's look at the reasons why the word interesting is often used inappropriately. So, what does the word interesting really mean in English? It's a fantastic word, but in my book, it basically only has one meaning. Something which makes me think, makes me want to know more, excites my thirst for knowledge. In Japanese, I feel that the true meaning of interesting, and remember, I'm talking about the English meaning, would be something similar to 興味深い. Now, I don't know for sure, but I feel the Japanese word 面白い has a very broad meaning. It can be used in many different ways. It's a super versatile word. Let's compare it like this. Let's see how we would use the word 面白い in Japanese. Oh, 面白い. Oh, 面白いね. 面白いですね. Let's compare that to how we would use interesting in English. That's interesting. You see what I mean? Interesting is usually said with a serious face. You would probably not find someone saying interesting with a big smile on their face, unless it was a villain in a James Bond movie.
Interesting.
Oh, and there's one more word that I'd like to talk about. Fascinating. It's like a stronger version of interesting. I recommend that you try to use both depending on the situation. That's so interesting. That is fascinating. So you want to say 面白い in English. But at the same time, you want to use natural English, right? Let's see how we can talk about these everyday topics in English. A book, a comedian, an unusual situation. Let's start off with a book. In a light way. This book is really good. This book is a real page-turner. I couldn't put this book down. In a more serious way, this book about economics was interesting. It gave me a new perspective on things. I found the writer's use of language to be incredibly thought-provoking. This book blew my mind. Absolutely fascinating stuff. Let's talk about a comedian. In a light way, that comedian is so funny. This guy cracks me up every time. These guys kill me. They are absolutely hilarious. In a more serious way, the way they combine old Japanese with modern Japanese is very interesting. I was fascinated by how the rakugo performer could tell a story using just a fan. I was mesmerized by their comedic timing. It was almost like some kind of dance. An unusual situation. In a light way, look at that dog riding a skateboard. Oh, that's not something you see every day. That teacher holds a lot of his classes outdoors. He's thinking outside the box. They cook the yakitori using a robot in that restaurant. It's actually really fun. In a more serious way, that man takes his 3 cats for a walk every day. It's amazing how he trained them. He's fluent in Chinese, but he's never been to China. Pretty interesting how he did it. I was blown away by how golfers in Japan stop after the first 9 holes to have lunch. So as you can see, and what I want you to realize is that there are so many other ways to express 面白い in English. Let's take a look at 5 example sentences. Remember to watch all 5. There's lots of vocabulary and expressions. The first one is this. Christian Bale is one of the most interesting actors in Hollywood and is known for his versatility. Versatility is the ability to play a huge variety of different characters. That's why he can definitely be called an interesting actor for that reason. I stopped watching the documentary after about 20 minutes. It just wasn't very interesting. So we're talking about a documentary here, so the word interesting seems like a good choice. How was the natto ice cream? It was interesting, to say the least. So if you try some food and you really don't like it, but you don't want to say anything like too bad about it, you can say, it has an interesting taste. Even native speakers are not direct all of the time. The movie had me in stitches. It was absolutely hilarious. If something makes you laugh, we don't use the word interesting. You can say, it had me in stitches. A stitch is a pain at the side of your stomach. You can also get it from running. The TED Talk about how we learn languages was mind-blowing. I learned so much. So if something is mind-blowing, it just means you learned a lot of things and your thinking was completely changed. Check out this video over here. It's about how to use Bob's your uncle. It's a British expression. I'll see you over there.